Alrighty. Good afternoon, good morning. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all well. Hey Lingopedia, good morning, how you doing? Hey Jew Marinas, hope you're well. I guess you can see me okay, hear me alright. Clean my glasses. Okay. Let me see. Things are working well. Okay, good. Hey Augusto, hope you're well. It is Monday the 27th of May. We're getting to the middle of the year. That's good. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, this is Monday the 27th of May, getting to the middle of the year. If you are on the session, you can hear me okay, see me alright, put it into the chat, let me know. If you are new to the session, where have you been? Welcome to the session. Do drop a message and say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. And for all the regulars, a big welcome back on this brand new week. We're looking at the week ahead. It is likely to be a very quiet market for today, with the UK and the US on a holiday, on a bank holiday. So it is likely to be a little bit quiet in terms of price movements, but we will look at some possible trade setups to come. Hey Stefan, how are you doing? Hey Nav, all good, thank you so much. Good morning, how are you doing, Nav? Hey Soon, how will the forex market end in May? I don't know, we shall figure it out, we shall see how it goes. Hey Diana, good morning Angel K's. Diana, we made it, well not we, but Man United made it to Europe after winning the FA Cup over the weekend. Anyone else caught the match? I felt so weird watching the match. At 1-0, didn't celebrate. 2-0, didn't celebrate. Only celebrated in a little bit of disbelief when they lifted the cup. It was a very good match. A bit unbelievable, a bit like a dream, but it was a very good match. Hey Jimmy, how are you doing? Alrighty, so as usual, if you can help me out, do remember to click that like and subscribe button. That would help massively. And with that, a quick disclaimer: any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Please do your own due diligence, as the contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to a financial product, as your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. And if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know, like what Diana has done. For the Aussie yen on the daily time frame, as it forms a bull flag, we will look at that shortly. Man City made mistake, which was good. Well, they didn't really make big mistakes, but I would say that we played somewhat better than usual. All right, take that away. Okay. Oh, and over the weekend, I caught up with some of our members, or one of our members from the Discord channel as well. So if you're ever anyone in Singapore, do drop me a message, let me know. And I'm also heading to Dubai early in June. So if you're in that area, do drop a message and let me know as well. Be happy to catch up with you guys. What else was I going to say? Can't remember what I was going to say. All right. First goal from Guardiola. Yes, my first goal. Okay. Right. So as we were saying, UK on a bank holiday for the spring bank holiday. Right. Spring bank holiday. For the UK, the US is closed, banks are closed for observance of Memorial Day. So that's why we're seeing markets pretty much sit in a little bit of a quiet consolidation. It's quite funny when you see the sessions, UK holiday, US holiday, After Tokyo closes, Europe might be will be open, but it's likely to be a little bit quiet, and that's what I've been saying 3 times now already. But what we have to look out for is, well, tomorrow we do have some retail sales number to be released for the Aussie at 9:30 a.m. GMT +8, together with the consumer confidence later in the day tomorrow. The main feature for now, well, up to the next couple of days, or for the next couple of days, will be the Aussie CPI year-on-year to be released. It was 3.5, expected 3.4. We do have the German preliminary CPI to be released as well, and ultimately on Thursday will be the GDP for the US to be released, and also on Friday the US core PCE price index. So it might be quiet today. It probably will be picking up tomorrow, but we should see markets return back to action hopefully from Wednesday onwards. Okay. Yeah, so now looking at the charts here on the dollar index, we had a lot of scribbles. Right, we were thinking this was where we were. Let me see. This was where we were on Friday during the session. Right, we were talking about it in that consolidation. It could break up. It didn't break up. It came down. Let me take this away for now. It came down to the trend line. One thought was that it might bounce from the trend line, but we did not see any evidence. Right, I'll zoom in a bit. We did not see any evidence of a potential bounce apart from that one candle at 9, but then it closed up slightly before pushing back down. So it did not bounce, but you can take that away. And as we were saying on Friday, that it needs to stay above 104.80 to remain bullish, which was this line here in that triangle. It broke 104.80, broke that trend line to push down to, from this move up, right, down to that 38.2 level, that 38.2 retracement level. And since it broke on Friday night and it's been sitting there in that consolidation, now with markets being a little bit quiet, or expected to be a little bit quiet, we should or could anticipate that it would, there'll be no reasons for it to push right back up, right? More likely to continue with that trending scenario, maybe to test a little bit lower again. No major news. So what I had, take that away as well. What I had from just then, I was looking at this, was how it came to that point, was how it came up to that 23. I'll zoom in a bit. Okay, how it came up to that 23.6 level, and it's been sitting in that consolidation. Just an hour before this, before we went live, I was thinking, as this was pushing up, I was thinking that maybe it could trade higher. I was thinking of it pushing past to test and reject back down, right? To maybe test that 50% level, which is right about there, and also that trend line, to test and reject back down. But it shot up, it came right back down, it sat there. Now this new hour at 3 p.m. GMT +8, it shows that it's pushing back up, but it still looks like it's doing that consolidation, right? So I would say that today, being the 27th of May, it is consolidating along the 104.70 range level. All right, let's take all that away first. It's consolidating along that 104.70 level, right? It could retrace up, but I'm looking for more potential downside. Likelihood of it retracing back up is there. Let me just think a bit. 50, no, I'm happy with 60. 61.8 there. I would actually, why I had this line here from before. I think it was a level that we were identifying, but you can see that this support level here was broken very easily. We haven't seen much reaction along this price level, so I'm not super keen on it anymore. I'm actually looking at it at this 61.8 retracement level, which would be along that 104.50 price level. Okay, so ultimately it's consolidating along 104.70. Could it reach? I'll take that away for now. My main thought is, could it retrace all the way back up? Okay, let's do that. Take that away. Take that away. All right. So what I'm looking at is dollar index consolidating along 104.70. It could retrace up. Oh, in this case now, okay. Oops. Wait, what happened there again? Okay. It needs to stay again. Could retrace to 104.90, also that 50% retracement level, but it needs to stay below that point, right? It needs to stay below that point, but we're looking for it to continue lower to the support of 104.50. There we go. All right, so dollar index is consolidating along this 104.70 level. It could retrace to 104.90, which is at 50% retracement level, but we're looking for it to continue lower towards the support of 104.50. Right, so generally, maybe some brief strength on the dollar, but still looking for the dollar to weaken as it continues back down. Now, with that said, then looking at the Kiwi dollar, did not break that support. Take that away. In fact, it bounced off this trend line. This is where we were. It bounced off this trend line and is pushing higher. Looking at the trend line, it's still held valid, so I'll keep that. This dotted line is there, that's fine. Kiwi H4 across my resistance is a good time to buy now. I wouldn't buy it now. I think it might be a little bit early to get in now. I would say that look for it to break past this high of 6140, right? We saw it test and reject here on the 16th, again on the 18th, again on the 22nd, came close on the 23rd. Now it's getting to this point. What I think could happen is a bit of a push, a bit of a retrace, and then a push back up again. That's what I would be looking for. So I would be thinking 6150, stop loss 25 to 30 pips, take profit up to 65 to the upside. All right. Do I think Ten Hag will be sacked? I hope not. I hope not. I think he needs to be given a bit more time. But back to the FX is Kiwi. I'll be looking to buy it up, looking for it to test, retrace, and then break through. Needs to break that high. So 6150.25 stop loss, 65 take profit to the upside. Now let's look at that. So we're looking to buy 0.6150, stop loss 25, take profit 65 to the upside. There we have it. right? Very likely, I could even push this up a little bit more and say that it would come up, break beyond this point, test, come back down, and then push back up. So you do have a little bit of waiting, might have a little bit of waiting to do. Then onto the Aussie, that didn't test and reject. It tested and broke through, so that didn't trigger. Take that away. It broke past that 23.6 level, and in fact it is coming up to what am I doing? Pressing too many things. Okay, it's coming up to that 50% level, which is also that resistance level. Okay, that trend line is pretty much done, so I don't need that. Take that away. Now I'm happy with that. It's broken. I'll put this as a bit of a reference point here. I'll look for it to break past this resistance and trade it up if we see that dollar weakness continue. So what could happen, very similar to the Kiwi, would be for it to test higher, reject, and then go up that way. Right, test that resistance, because this resistance has held quite well. So test, reject, and then push back up. What I'll be looking for would be about 666, quadruple 6. Stop loss 20. Take profit. You can do 40. You can do 60 to the upside. And this might be a bit slower. It might push up, but it might sit at the resistance for a little bit, particularly because we have the CPI to be released for the Aussie, 3.5 to 3.4. This is on Wednesday, so there is a couple of days to this. 3.5 to 3.4. If it does get released at about a 3.4, it might not be enough to spur a rate cut talk from the RBA, and that's why I think we might see this push up. Okay, so I'll look at that and think of Aussie to buy at 0.6666, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the upside. Okay, you can see that that might not even retrace up, that might just break, sit in that consolidation and break lower. Then we'll see this push higher. Okay. Hey, Basanta, how are you doing? Now on to the yen, right? Onto the US yen. It has been very weird. It's pushed down, right? Because of the dollar weakness, it's pushed a bit lower. But if you compare just to the Kiwi, right? On Friday, we had it going from 6090 up now to 6134. That was a good, well, 40 something pip move to the upside. The Aussie went up by about a good 40, almost 50 pip move to the upside. Yet on the US yen, right, we were looking at it and it's gone from on Friday around that point down 20-30 pips to the downside. All right, so it has retraced because of the dollar weakness, but it hasn't retraced that much. It hasn't retraced that much. If you were in this trade, right, we're looking for it to consolidate, which it did. We were looking for it to break and bounce off the bottom of the channel. You might have entered as it bounced at that point, and we've gone down and hit your 25 pip stop loss on that. Right, that could have been a stop loss for if you try to trade on the bounce of the bottom of the channel. Anyone got onto that? Do let me know. That was something I was very keen on, but I didn't end up entering any trades on Friday. while it bounced off, while it did that, now we're still looking at it, finding a bit of a support along this previous swing level and this 156.80 level, now pushing back up a little bit. I'm not entirely convinced, right? Not entirely convinced that we're going to see it push strongly to the upside yet. However, I will keep this view that wouldn't do anything. Again, I like my triangle. Let me do that. Wouldn't do anything in this area, right? I would want it to break that previous high from last week. I want it to break that previous high from last week, coming back into the channel. Then I'll be looking to get in 157.30. Stop loss would be 30 pips. Oh, that's 25. Stop loss will be at the max of 30 pips. Take profit, I can do 65 towards the previous high and also the top of the channel at almost 158. Yeah, I'll be quite happy with that. Hey Erwin, how are you doing? Hey Nchaku, how are you doing? All right, so I'll be looking at that. A bit of waiting. Yen weakness still to drive it up, although we are seeing some dollar weakness pushing it back. But you can see here, look at that. Dollar weakening, but yet yen still, US yen still pushing up. Because of that, 157.30, 30 pip stop loss, 65 pip take profit to the upside. There we go, buy 157.30, stop loss 30 maximum, take profit 65 to the upside. Israel attack on Rafah this morning. Yes, there was headliners. Thanks for pointing that out as well, Lingopedia. I came in and I saw that Tel Aviv targeted by Hamas rockets as Israel continues Rafah offensive. So they're attacking, it's flying both ways. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that move on capital flow right now, right? We haven't seen, typically, if there is a significant escalation in the conflict, you should see dollar strengthen, or you should see the yen strengthen to push it back down, but we haven't seen that. And on gold, we should have seen it rise because of a move towards reserve, but we haven't seen that either. So it does seem like, although there's a headliner here, it is still, it's almost, unfortunately, it almost seems like it's not a new news, right? It's still a continuation of what they had before, and that's why we're not seeing that move of reserve. And yes, Jimmy just said, according to the COT report, yen is still very weak. In fact, I wrote something up on my website about the yen. You can go check that out as well. Okay. So US yen, I like that. I'll keep that view. Okay. Then on to the pound dollar. Yen futures is way weak if you look, so probably all yen pairs will be strong. Yeah, I do think that it should push up. Okay, then we will look at, after that, we will look at the Aussie yen as well. I haven't forgotten that, okay? Yeah, so generally we are looking at yen to continue weakening. That did not test and reject the push down. Take that away. Now, pound dollar sitting right across. Thinking that we'll have that. Let me put this here. That resistance is turned a support now. And let me see. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'll take those away for now. Okay. Now, thinking that yes, we might see the dollar weaken back down, I'm considering the idea, what if it pushes up strongly, right? What if it has a big recovery in strength? We see massive strength on the dollar. What needs to happen here on the pound? I'm actually thinking that, okay, why I'm coming to this point is, you see how the pound has came all the way down. In fact, we don't need that anymore. Take that away. Right, came all the way down, bounced back up. I'm looking for a reaction along that resistance. Yeah. So I'm looking for a reaction along the resistance level. Let me just measure how far is this. That's a good 60. Okay, the thought is that if you would look for it to break past that previous high, right? If you look for it to break past that previous high and look to buy it up, say about 1.2765, you have a 50 pip and a 20 pip like that. I think that's a straightforward view on the pound dollar, right? But I'm also thinking whether we could see a test and reject back down, or a rejection along that resistance level there, or in this area here, right? A rejection along this resistance area here. And looking at this, if it consolidates and push down, okay, what I'll be looking for here on the pound dollar would be to look for that. Pound dollar, I'll be looking to needs to break previous high, then I'll be looking to buy. Needs to break the previous high, I'll be looking to buy at 1.2765. 1.2765. Stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the upside. Take profit 50 to the upside. But then if it fails to break past that point, we could also have a double top scenario. Right, we have this point here. We could also have a double top scenario. If it fails to break, then I'll be looking at 1.2745. Stop loss 20. Take profit back down to 60 pips to the downside towards this point here. So there are the two options there for the pound dollar. I'm not entirely convinced. Most likely we'll see it go up, but I'm not entirely convinced on that. So I'm going to consider a possible double top scenario where we could say, or a double top, and then we look to sell at 1.2745, 20 to 60 to the downside. 1.2745, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. It all depends on what's going to happen here on the dollar index. Euro came down, tested that 50% level, that swing level here as well, pushing back up, right? Sitting just along this previous swing level, right? Sitting just at that point, so that did not trigger. Take that away. That's pushing up. If you got onto that, you'll be on a 20-something pip move to the upside. It's bouncing back up. I would say that at this point on the euro, if it breaks above this 61.8 level, 50 is broken. If it breaks past this 61.8 level, which is right there, we could see a smallish trade up. Let me see. Not worth. It's 30 pips to the upside. I don't see that. I would, in fact, be more tempted to think about it rejecting. Similar to the pound dollar, look for it to reject, to sit along this point, to sit in consolidation in this level, test briefly before rejecting back down. Then I would be looking to sell down 1.0850, stop loss 15 at the very most, take profit, you have 25, or you could go down to this point at 45 to the downside. Test, reject, sell down. I like that. I like that a lot more. So that would again be some dollar strength scenario to come back into play. 1.0850, 15 to 45 to the downside. All right, so euro, we're looking to sell down at 1.0845, stop loss 15, take profit 45 to the downside. Oh, 1.0850. 1.0850, 15 to 45. Okay. Then on to the US Swiss franc, sitting in that consolidation. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good point there, Diana. A lot of these setups, as we are looking at this, these setups here, I think that maybe the Kiwi and the Aussie has a bit of a chance for something today. More likely the yen for something today. Aussie and Kiwi, slight chance. The pound and the euro looks like it might just sit there. Like Diana said, market is sleeping today. It looks like a setup, but it might be something for setting up for tomorrow. Aussie does have a retail sales number for tomorrow, right? So it's all going to look very similar to what we have here on the US Swiss franc. On Friday, we said consolidating along this support/resistance level. It's still consolidating. It's broken that trend line, still sitting, or not broken that trend line, but still sitting along that level. Needs to break. Needs to break lower before we can see that move. I'll keep that same view for the US Swiss franc, which is a sell at 9125, stop loss 30, take profit 50 to the downside. Might push up a little bit, but I think it's going to sit there a little bit longer, right? That consolidation might look like that. PM says it's because of the holiday. Yes, most likely because of that. Then on to the loonie, did not push up. In fact, it spiked right back down because of the dollar coming back down. I would again wait, right? We said wait it out because it's right in the middle. We couldn't figure it to go up and test. And luckily we didn't, because it came right back down. At this point here, it does seem to have found that 61.8 level. Even if we took this point, it seemed to have found that 61.8 level. But anticipating that the dollar might sit there and maybe push down, this might come back down to the support level here at 1.3610. What you would be, or what I would be looking out for, would be a bounce. A bounce, yes. At about let's see. We want to see it come down to this point and then have a reaction. So I'll be looking for reaction at 1.3610. Look for reaction at 1.3610. Diana is saying if you look, it also broke the trend line down. Yep, that one. That level is breaking. Oh, that level as well is breaking. So it's coming close. We're going to see it break and come down towards that point. I do think that it might bounce from here, so I'll just see that reaction along that point there. Okay. Then on to Aussie yen on the daily time frame. I got too many, clear that out for now. We don't look at this often. At this point, look at that. Very, very high point. A lot of indecision here. Aussie, we're anticipating, well, this daily, we're anticipating for it to push up a little bit more, yen to push up a little bit more. Aussie yen does look like, and this might be contradicting to a lot of things that we've done, is that on the daily time frame, if it breaks past this, well, this is a 104.15, 104.95. On the, okay, firstly, on the H1 time frame, you might be tempted to trade this up, but there are some levels in the middle, right? So I don't think it's something that you're gonna look at it on the H1 time frame. On the daily time frame, I do see that, but I see a lot of indecision here. I'm thinking that based on the technical view, we should see it bounce around this level and push back down. But I don't see any drivers for that move. What I mean by that is I don't see the Aussie weakness yet, or the yen strength to drive it back down. So I do see it push back up a bit into this area, further into this area, and then consolidate in that point. So I do see that instead. That, and then maybe a breakdown, but more likely, actually more likely, I think that is going to come in and then do that, right? Because I don't see any reason why it should push down yet. Aussie news tomorrow is retail sales. It looks like it's going to be a good, strong number. CPI might see some strength on the Aussie back, so I do think that we might see it fluctuate within this range and then maybe break to the upside, and that's where you might want to watch out for the Bollinger. It push out like that. I don't think it'll be a big spike. Bounce around here and then break out and then come back in again. So just be very careful on that one. Hope I answered your question there, Diana. Are we aligned on the view? Then, hi Lydia, because Lydia is on, we're going to look at the pound yen. Right, pound yen, we're looking for this to push up into this area to reject back down. I would keep that same view. I'll maintain the same view. Right, we're looking at a pound dollar consolidating here, pushing back down a little bit, but still consolidating, very similar to the dollar index. Yen pushing up, and that's why I think that the pound yen could push up a little bit, might test and reject, so we'll keep that view. Euro yen as well, if you did get into that 30 pip stop loss on that setup, but there is another replay of that coming up. I would say 170.40, stop loss 30, take profit 60 to the upside for the euro yen as well. I'll maintain that, anticipating that push. I do like this a bit more on the US yen pushing up. Dollar index is still sitting there. All right, so this is coming, not really coming quite close, but it's one of the setups, the main setup that I'll look out for. And with all that said, then looking at gold, came down, sat around there, hasn't done too much. Said this on Friday, wait for the retracement to complete below 23.25, could trade down to 2300. It completed that retracement, or it did that retracement by sitting in consolidation. Same thing, below 23.25, could trade down to 2300. I'll maintain that view. So, a short and sharp session for today. Didn't go the full hour because it is a bank holiday in the UK. It is a bank holiday in the US. Not much to update on, and we look forward to tomorrow. All right, so if you haven't already, do help me out. Click the like and subscribe button. Do make sure you join us on the Discord channel. And I'll see you all same time, same place tomorrow during the stream or on Discord. Take care now. Bye-bye.